Hello, my strong friends. This is week 1, day 1 of your new program, Uplifted. Today, I'm gonna take you through the first day of training, and throughout every day this week, every day that you're gonna be in the gym, I'm gonna go over everything that you should expect so that you're prepared before you get under the barbell. So each day is gonna start with a primer movement to get you ready for your main compound movement. Your primer movement is going to activate and mobilize you so that you can give it all you've got for that big compound movement. Remember, the compound movements are the squat, bench, deadlift, or the overhead press. After that big compound movement, we're gonna move on to some builder supersets and then some giant sets at the end. So like I mentioned, the first movement that we're gonna do is a primer set. We're gonna start with some glute hip thrusts. So the purpose of trying these out before we get squatting is so that we can activate our glutes so that our posterior chain is ready to rock when you get under the barbell. So to set these up, all you're really gonna need is a barbell. You can also use dumbbells or a kettlebell if you need to, but I'm actually not gonna load this to be heavy at all. It's really light, so take these at a tempo pace, and we're gonna do 20 reps. I'm working light. If you need to go lighter, don't worry. So you're gonna set yourself up, place your upper back on the back of a bench, and you'll just transition. They can be a little awkward, but place both your feet on the ground and push into your heels so that you're extending your glute so that your lower body is parallel to the ceiling. Notice that I'm pausing at the top and taking it nice and slow. "17, and I'm feeling my booty. And 20. Okay, so after your first set, you'll probably start to feel these turning on. If you need to, of course, go through your typical squat warm-up. This isn't gonna be the only thing you wanna do. So while you're resting in between your second set, try some air squats. I like to just give myself some actual physical activation so that I feel my glute med turning on. You can see me here doing some fire hydrants. I'm doing some bird dogs just to get my core and glutes activated, and also doing some stretches to get my hamstrings and hip flexors mobilized so that I'm ready to squat. Okay, so I've rested about 2 minutes after my first primer set. You're not gonna be completely gassed here. You're just activating the muscles. So make sure that you give yourself enough rest to where you're not feeling that burn that you felt in the first set. Take it easy, no need to go super fast here. Powerlifting is all about the rest. You wanna make sure that you're resting enough so that you can bring the same or better intensity to your next set. And this set, since you've already had a little bit of a warm up, you should feel your glutes firing a little bit more. Okay, so now that we're done with the primer set, I just wanna stress the importance of this. The weight is gonna be really light, so it's not the most exciting thing that you could be doing. But the goal of this is to prepare you for your big lift. If your muscles are not activated and you're not recruiting the muscles that you need for your big compound movement, you are not gonna get what you need out of this program. So never skip the primer, never skip your warm-up so that you're setting yourself up for success. So after our primer movement, we are going to head over to the barbell to start our squats. Okay, so our bread and butter for the day is gonna be squats. We're primed up, we're ready to go. Some of you may be watching and a little scared or intimidated by squats, but don't worry, I'm gonna give you a quick squat primer so that you're feeling good, you're feeling confident. First things first, I do wanna talk a little bit about equipment. Now, what you see here, what I'm wearing, is really all you need to squat. I'm gonna be wearing flat shoes, so if you have like a cushy running shoe, don't wear those. It's better to go barefoot. But if you can find like a flat Chuck Taylor or Vans, those are gonna be great, or a heeled weightlifting shoe that's made for squatting, also fine. I'm sure plenty of you have seen me lifting on Instagram or seen someone else where we have like belts and knee support. You don't need any of that stuff. That stuff will help you. And if you choose to use some equipment, that's totally fine. It's really up to you, but know that there are very, very strong people who don't lift with a belt, who don't lift with knee support. So let's approach the bar. First things first, you're gonna set the bar up about shoulder height. Estimating is okay. It doesn't have to be perfect on your first try, but you just wanna make sure that you are setting the height to where you can clear the bar, bringing it out and bringing it back up from the clips. So when you are setting up to the bar, simply just put your hands wherever it feels comfortable. Close your eyes and grab the barbell. That's probably gonna be where you're gonna start. Now that we've got our hands placed comfortably on the bar, we're gonna just dip under, and wherever the bar is feeling comfortable is where you wanna go. So next, we'll talk about the walkout really quickly. It's just 3 steps. So you're gonna stand up, take 1 step back, another step back, and then wiggle your first foot just to square up so that you're even. Try not to take 1,000 steps walking out of the rack. You don't wanna mess up. Just 3 is all you really need. So now we're ready to squat. And simply, you're just gonna break at the knees and the hips and squat down below parallel. So it's super simple. We've been doing it since we were babies. So just break at the knees and hips, squat down, and explode up. Make sure that you're feeling the weight on all 4 corners of your foot. So you're not just staying on the heels, leaving your toes up, and you're not just on the toes, leaving your heels up. So yeah, just feel your weight shift in your feet if you need to with the empty bar, and just get comfortable with your center of mass and keeping that barbell in a straight line. And then when you walk back, just simply walk forward, hit the rack, and down. That's how you squat. Now you all know. We're gonna warm up to a pretty heavy set of 6. To determine what weight is on the bar, we're gonna go back to using the RPE scale, which is the rate of perceived exertion. So start with the bar, do 6 reps, and then just slowly keep adding weight for reps of 6. So keep going up. And whenever you get to a point where you're like, I maybe could have done 2 extra reps, where it starts feeling pretty heavy, that's where you're gonna stop and we're gonna call it a day adding weight on the bar. Now, when you see me start adding weight, and if you feel like you can't make as big of a jump, don't worry. There are 5-pound plates, there are 10-pound plates. You can make whatever jump you feel most comfortable with. Don't freak out. I'm gonna add the 45s, but I've been lifting for a long time. So I'm gonna make a jump from the bar to 135 is my first set, and do a set of 6, and then I'm gonna keep doing sets of 6 on up. Okay, first set done. That should be a really easy set for all of you guys. Now is also gonna be the time where I'm gonna put on my knee wraps. These are just cotton elastic knee wraps. They're not like equipped powerlifting knee wraps. They really just keep my knees a little bit warm. It's nothing crazy. It's not gonna make me squat or you squat 1,000,000 more pounds. This is 185 for my second warm up. After this warm up, I'll then put on my belt. Okay, starting to feel heavy, just a tad. I'm gonna jump to 225. Usually for this, I will rest between 3 to 5 minutes in between sets when it's getting heavy. So the reason we're resting more during this time is because the intensity is higher. So as the intensity of the weight goes up, you're going to need more rest to recover in between sets. So take your time, especially on this main compound movement. You don't wanna get hurt, you don't wanna be out of breath, you wanna be bringing the same intensity to each and every set. I'm actually, usually at 225, I throw on my belt. So I'm gonna throw on my belt now. Again, don't freak out if you don't have a belt. It's okay. But if you do have a belt, you should probably not use it for every single set. So your belt shouldn't be on during sets with the bar. Find your belt weight, minus 225. That's when I start putting it down. This is just gonna help me lift a little bit more, make sure that I'm keeping proper form. It's starting to get a little heavy. I got a few more reps in me. I've got probably 405. So I think next set will be my last. I'll add 10 pounds on each side and try 245. This is going to be my top set. I can tell just by looking and thinking about how the other sets felt. So I know that this is about as heavy as I'm gonna go today for an RPE 8, which is normal for me, and that's good. I'll be happy if this hits that RPE scale of 8. If I were to be hardcore, this is when I would be like, come on! If you are that person, now's your time to do it. Also, you might notice my breathing during these squats. For each one, what I'm doing is expanding my intra-abdominal wall. You see this very sexy area right here? Some people might not think it's cute, but it's awesome because this is your power gut. So you want to expand your stomach. When you breathe in, you don't want to decrease the volume of your stomach. You want to expand your intra-abdominal wall so that you're keeping your spine safe and stable. Your spine is loosey-goosey. You want it to stay tight. Oh, Lordy. Okay, that's a good RPE 8 for me. You notice that the weight started slowing down, but I wasn't coming close to failure. So that's exactly what you want to look for this top set. So the point of hitting that heavy set is so that you're getting the intensity high each day, but you're only going an RPE 8, so you're not killing yourself each day. Leaving some room in the tank so that you can progress week after week. After that high intensity or heavy lift, we're gonna back down so that we are getting some volume in at a lighter weight. The reason you wanna do this is because submaximal training is what's going to build your muscle and make you strong. And also, you're going to improve your technical mastery by getting just your reps in. The more you squat, the better squatter you're going to be, so that you're feeling good under the bar and practicing your strength at a weight that's gonna keep you safe and something that you can do without dying. Okay, you see this? This is my notebook. Don't go to the gym without this. I'm warning you. If you do, I'm gonna be really upset. Or you can just record your workouts with an app on your phone. That's also fine. I like to write stuff down though, so this is gonna be key to tracking what you just hit. So I just hit 245. I'm going to write that down. 245 is my top set. Don't forget, I usually circle it so that next week, when you have a workout similar to this, and I tell you to go a little bit heavier, you're gonna know exactly what to work off of. So also, I'm gonna need this to figure out what my back off sets that I was telling you guys about. I'm gonna take minus 10% of 245. So with the magic of movies, I figured out that it's 220.5 pounds. I'm just gonna round down to 220 pounds for 3 sets of 6 is next. I'm feeling good. The hardest part is over. 3 by 6. It's gonna be easy peasy. So I say it's gonna be easy peasy, but as you're doing this, just get your shit together. Every weight that you have on the bar should be taken with the same amount of professionalism and with the same amount of focus, because you don't wanna do anything that might put you in jeopardy of getting hurt. No weight is lightweight, so respect whatever's on there. And if you're not up to here, don't comment on my Instagram or tell your friends that you're weak, because you're not. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Start lifting. Okay, there were a couple reps there, but I was a little shaky. That's okay. Just gotta do better next set. Give myself some time to chill. Since your weight isn't as high, still give yourself time to rest, but if you were resting 3 to 5 minutes, whenever the weight is a little bit lighter, maybe you could rest 2 to 4. Just minimize some of your rest time. Also, it's good to leave Other notes, you don't have to just write what weight is on the bar or your RPE. You don't have to just record those. I will keep track of everything in this notebook. I'll keep track of how much water I had that day. If my nutrition was shit that day and I'm feeling shit in the gym, write that down. There's a reason that you're feeling not great in the gym. So strength is a fickle thing. A poor night of sleep or 2 poor nights of sleep could mean that your regular RPE 8 weight is feeling like an RPE 10. And I don't want you to get there, but that's what the RPE scale is there for. Don't give yourself excuses, but also plan for success and know what outside factors are leading to you not feeling great in the gym or to you feeling great in the gym. I'm ready, 220, you and me. We're almost there. Everybody recording this is like, God damn, she's only done 2 sets. Strength takes time. Strength takes time. When you're sitting on the bench and someone's eyeing you, just say, look, Meg Squats said strength takes time. Girl. Okay, almost there. One more set, and it's gonna get less heavy, but still hard. So just enjoy your rest time while you have it. Last set of 220 pounds. I wanna reiterate here, if you're watching this and you're like, damn, she's strong, that's okay. You will be too. Or if you're like, damn, she's weak, you keep doing you. I see you if you're strong. No shame in that. Just know that we're all at different places in our strength journeys. And don't forget to respect your own. Because if you're always looking at someone else and they seem stronger than you and it's discouraging you, don't worry about that. There's a reason that you're in the gym training. There's a reason I'm still training. And it's because I know for a fact that I haven't yet seen how strong I can truly be. I haven't seen it. Either have you. Whew. That was my best set. Thank the Lord. Yeah, so that's it for our 3x6. That was pretty hard. I'm gonna rest in between moving to my builder supersets, but that's what's next. Give yourself a pat on the back for having some dope ass form and for getting that done, because that's, intensity-wise, that's your heaviest lift for the day. In my opinion, squats are the most taxing for my body. Deadlifts are more fun, but we'll get to that later this week. Okay, let me catch my breath, and we'll see you for the builder supersets next. All right, now that we're done with squats, we're gonna move on to our first superset. So a superset is when you take 2 or more movements and you're going to do those movements back to back, and you won't rest until you're done with both of them. So today we're doing kettlebell stiff leg deadlift, and we're gonna do that from a deficit. We're supersetting that with Bulgarian split squats. When you're doing these, bring the same intensity though with these. It's still gonna be hard. I'm not going as heavy as that compound movement, but I'm still going heavy. I'm doing sets of 15 and 10, so it's gonna be difficult. Okay, set up on a stable surface for your stiff leg deadlift. Keep your knees straight and you're just hinging at the hip. So your toes can go a little bit over so that when you hinge, the kettlebell, the weight of the kettlebell and the mass of the kettlebell reaches past the surface that you're standing on. So that's 1 rep. You don't have to take these really fast. You can take them slow, but I promise you, you'll be burning. Your hamstrings will be feeling the weight. Next is your Bulgarian split squat. To do this, you can choose to do weight if you're comfortable with this movement. If you're not, It's totally okay to keep your hands free, hold them on your waist, or hold a really light dumbbell. You're gonna take one leg, put it back on the surface of your deficit surface that you used, bend at the knee of your front leg, and then pick up the weight with each hand, and you're doing 10 on each side. Be sure in this movement that your knee is not going over your toe. In regular squats, it's okay to have your knee go over, but to fully activate the muscle group that we want to in this movement, you don't want your knee going way past your front toe. So we'll do 10 on each side, and then we'll rotate or switch legs. It's a little awkward to get your back foot settled. Just take your time and be stable. Once you have your balance, start your set. Okay, 10 on each side there. Now that I'm done with both, I can take a little bit of rest. I'm not dying. It's not a ton of weight that we're using. For these, you do want to be around an RPE 6. So push yourself to get there. RPE 6 means you have about 4 reps left in the tank. If your legs are completely burning, take a seat, relax for a little bit, and let that burn go away as much as you can. It may not completely dissipate, but you want to look for some recovery that makes you feel confident in your next set. Okay. Woo! You know what? Bulgarian split squats are the bane of my existence. That's why I do them. That's why I'm having you do them. So right now I am starting to feel with my hamstring stretch and then going right into the Bulgarian split squat, I'm starting to feel my legs burn a little bit, but that won't be the end of that for today because we have this giant set that I'm anticipating. So I'm pushing it hard. I feel pretty breathy, which is what you want to be achieving here. You wanna get your heart rate up a little bit here. You're still moving heavy weight, so you're still building some muscle. Now, next week, you'll be doing 4 sets of these. So enjoy that one. Okay, almost there for these. Then we can rest a little bit more. It's okay to take your time, and it's okay to adjust mid-set if you feel like something's going off or some form is not feeling the best. Take your time, get it right the first time, or get it right as you notice something is off. So you'll notice me start to shift my weight every once in a while. That's just to get, like there, that's just to get in a better position. It's gonna keep me safe and keep me moving forward. Whew, my glutes. The third set. Okay, almost there. Okay, I'm done with my superset. I'm gonna catch my breath, and then we'll move on to the giant set, one of the hardest parts of the workout. Not that any part has been easy, but the giant set, I'm gonna be feeling real good in a minute here. All right, guys, we are finally at the final stage of this workout. We're gonna do 4 exercises. We're gonna move over to the hamstring curl first. Second, do some leg press. Then we're moving back to this mat in the middle, and we're gonna do some Superman so that we're getting some back and core work in, and then on to some dumbbell windmills here. All right, so let's start over on the hamstring curl first. Pretty standard here. If you have one of these lying hamstring curls, that's great. If you have a seated one, that's also fine. We also have substitutions for everything, so be sure to check those out if you're missing any of this equipment. First thing you want to think about here is make sure that you're not arching at all on your back, but that you're actually squeezing your butt so that your pelvis is neutral. And we're just gonna do 10 of these here. After the hamstring curl, we're moving on to the leg press. I'm gonna load this first. See how heavy I can go. I'm actually gonna warm up to make sure that this weight is gonna be good for me. It's okay while you're on the first set of your giant set to take a warm-up set in between. Just make sure that you're pushing yourself. I'm gonna go heavier. Okay, after the leg press, we're moving on to Supermans. So you're not loading this, so you'll be able to lay on the ground for once in this workout. What you're gonna do is get on the ground, keep your stomach on the ground, your arms and legs extended, and we're doing 10 reps here, and we're just gonna hold at the top. Keep this movement very slow. If you need to catch your breath here, now's a good time. So let's just go up, hold for 1 or 2 seconds, back down into the next rep. And next, we're going straight into the dumbbell windmills. Now these, what you wanna do is extend one arm up to the sky and then take your toes and point them at a 45-degree angle on the other side. So what we're gonna do is just rotate down so that we're creating a straight line from both of our arms extended, and touch your toe with your free hand. So bend at the hip, shoot your hip out to the side, and keep that dumbbell straight. If it helps you to look at that dumbbell to keep your balance, you can also do that. We're just doing 5 per side, so take your time here. There's no rush. I'll do one more. Switch to the other side. So when I switch to the other side, I switch my toes, push that dumbbell up. It's okay to go light for these and to take it slow. Now those last 2 movements, we're starting to work our obliques, we're starting to work our back and our midsection, making sure that our bodies are still getting core workout, still working not just on the abs, but our entire midsection, so that when we're loaded with the squats, we can keep our spine rigid and protect it around us when we have super heavy weight there. Okay, so that was my first set. Let's move on back to the hamstring curl. Okay, I didn't sandbag it, but I'm gonna go a little heavier. You can notice I don't need to take as much rest here because the weights aren't as heavy. I'm lowering the intensity, decreasing my rest in between the giant set. Straight from those, right into the leg press. No rest in between. On to everyone's favorite part, where we get to lie down on the ground. Who doesn't love that? If that last set was easy for you here, instead of holding it for 2 to 3 seconds, hold it for 4 to 5. Okay, 10 there, and on to our dumbbell windmills. Push this dumbbell up, rotate the toes over. Look at your dumbbell if you need to, and just 5 reps, really slow. Okay, set 2 done, 2 more to go. I'm feeling good. I think I can go heavier on my leg press. I think I could go heavier on my leg curl. So I'm gonna do that. It's okay for week 1, day 1 to also be figuring out how heavy you should be going. Just write down in that notebook what you're hitting for leg press, what you're hitting for hamstring curl. It does matter. You should be progressing in those movements too. You're not gonna experience any results if you're not progressing, if you're not overloading, if you're not adding more weight to the bar or the machines week after week. Whew. You notice my butt coming up a little bit. We don't want that. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm not in spinal extension, that I'm squeezing my butt before I get there, and making sure that I'm not getting into this movement with anterior pelvic tilt. So squeeze that in, push your hips forward so that your hips are flat on that hamstring curl bench. We can go heavier here. Okay, back to Superman's on the floor. Okay, I'm starting to see a little sweat mark from my body. Okay, third giant set is done. We're almost there. How are you feeling? I hope it's good. Just keep working through this. We're gonna go back to 60 so that I'm doing this right. And our last set of Supermans. You're almost there. You're just lying on the floor. It's no big deal. Okay. I'm feeling that back pump. I'm feeling my squats. I'm feeling those hamstring curls. I'm feeling those kettlebell deadlifts. It's all coming through. I'm starting to feel my body working, and we're almost there. Oh. We did it. Your giant sets are done. You should be feeling kind of breathy, kind of out of breath. That weight wasn't heavy for you because you just squatted a ton. But you're working on your weaknesses, you're getting your core strong, you're working on things that you don't get to work on in those compound movements. That's why we do these, so that you build up that squat, you build up your bench, and you build up your deadlift. Whew. Okay, I feel good. Now you can take a little break. Next week, you're going to see a couple of different movements from week to week in this giant set and in your builder set. We're gonna rotate out movements so that you're having fun. You will not get bored doing this. This is not a boring powerlifting program, although sometimes they can be. You'll have more sets and more reps next week. So enjoy this week one. It's gonna get you ready, but we're progressively overloading every movement in this program. You're always gonna be getting better. You're always gonna be growing to get stronger, to get another rep, to get 5 more pounds, to just do things that you've never been able to do.